When I first started the therapy, I didn't think at first it'd work. And now, slowly but surely, there's a lot of adaptations that Brian's done for me, and we've worked on it. And as a result, it's worked out better for myself.
So how often are you using the therapy?
Probably once every other day. But Brian has taught me other things as well, to sort of like parts of the therapy, like to help me sleep or to help bring me back to a calm place, whereas things might usually get on top of me.
I mean, I know myself from my own history of the trauma that I suffered at the hands of someone else, that when Brian got me to think about an incident or to think about an event and get into that emotion and then start tapping through it, the way that I viewed it had changed. Could you describe to me what happened to you? What did you experience when you went through that process?
There's not a lot really to tell apart from the emotions were very strong concerning what happened. Honestly, like I said, when I first started this therapy, I honestly thought, oh, this ain't going to work. I mean, but slowly building up the emotions and then understanding what we were kind of doing to take back control of everything, it slowly changed my mind about the whole therapy and the whole way things work.
And do you feel different about, if you look back now at certain incidents that have happened?
I can look back at certain incidents now without a problem. I mean, like today, we dealt with two ones that I'd actually been putting off, and Brian knew I'd been putting off because of the emotions that they caused. But after our session about an hour ago, I'm totally looking at life positively again and knowing that it's a different time from here. I can look at it now and say, well, that person was in the wrong, I wasn't in the wrong, whereas before I always used to feel that I was in the wrong because that's how they made me feel. But now it's like I can look back and say, well, it wasn't me, it was you. And like I said, Brian helped me get through one or two the day that I really didn't want to face. Emotionally wise, it'll take time, but I think with the way the therapy's working, I'll get there.
Do you feel you've got a handle now on your life, or a way to deal with stress or problems or your emotions?
I can now control a lot of my anger before where I couldn't, and that's a big plus, especially with my children. I think it's probably difficult for them to understand what's wrong with their dad, but now my wife has helped me out and my daughter's helped me, and they can actually see that I'm making progress, but it does take time. It's not like an overnight fix. It's not like you could suddenly turn around and say, right, hold on a minute, we'll just take this memory card out and we'll put another one in. It doesn't work that way. You can't sort of like go up to a computer and erase it all, because if that's the case, I wish to God I could. But slowly but surely we can get there, and it does help with my attitude as well.
Did you try other therapies before? Did you try other counselling or?
I've actually been with my psychiatrist. My breakdown didn't happen until November last year, when it all actually came out what caused it. And it happened to be just a simple touch. Brian and me have spoken about how a touch, a smell, certain things can trigger these things off. And up until last year, this was well and truly hidden. There was rumours going about what happened with certain things, but like I said, it didn't come to the fore until it just so happened to be in a disagreement between me and my wife over something silly, and it brought everything back. And then before I knew it, I ended up having to come here, where thankfully the foundation's been brilliant. And then with Brian, having Brian on hand is even better, because it just adds one more. It's like putting another step in place of the staircase on the road to where I want to be from where I was. So I don't feel so low anymore. I'm so one step at a time. As the staircase gets bigger, then we can put another step in until I actually reach where I want to be. And that's probably what's the best thing about the therapy that's helped. My background is actually British military. I was brought up in the military establishment. I was born and raised with the British Army, and this happened in the British Army. I would love to see this therapy actually being used with the British Army as well. There's a lot of people that I know, especially children, not so much way in the forms of abuse. The family, the British military shape their parents' career, and they plan for their parents leaving the army. They don't take into account everything that the child has gone through while being brought up in the army. And there's no precedent in place to, number one, to help those children adjust from a military school where everybody is either Royal Air Force, Royal Navy or British Army, to coming back to what we call Civvy Street, which is civilian life. And this is where I think the therapy should be taken into consideration for those kind of situations where children are coming home from maybe Germany, Cyprus, wherever their family's based abroad, being brought back to civilian street, even at the age of 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, it doesn't really matter. There should be something in place like this which would actually help. It's helped me.
Do you see using the therapy through the future, keeping using it, or do you think there'll become a point where you won't need to use it? Or
I don't think there'll be ever a point where I won't use it. I don't really see anywhere that I wouldn't use it because I know that it works. The old saying is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if you know how to fix it and you know how to make it stronger, then why stop? It puts you in control of what you should be in control of. You can only control your own destiny. And for people to take parts of your destiny away, you have to try and reclaim it. And this therapy is the perfect way of reclaiming your own destiny.